Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt the sting of betrayal from someone you gave a second chance? Maybe it was an ex who promised things would be different, only for old patterns to resurface. Perhaps it was a friend who drifted away, only to return with more drama than connection. Or maybe it was a family member who reached out after years of silence, only to bring back the same conflicts you thought were behind you. When people return to our lives, we naturally hope for better. We imagine growth, change, and healing. But instead, it can feel like history is repeating itself, sometimes even worse than before. That's what makes this experience so confusing and emotionally draining. Why does it happen? Is it something you did? Are they incapable of change? Or is there something deeper at play? It's tempting to place all the blame on yourself when someone you care about hurts you again. You might ask, was I too forgiving, too trusting? But the truth is, this kind of pain often stems from unresolved issues, on their part, or sometimes both sides. There are often hidden reasons why someone might return to your life, not for reconciliation, but out of their own unmet needs or unhealed wounds. And those reasons can inadvertently lead to you being hurt in the process. Think about it. Relationships in any form require mutual respect, effort, and understanding. But if someone returns with unresolved baggage, manipulation, or even selfish motives, the dynamic becomes one-sided. You're left trying to build something stable on shaky ground, and that instability often manifests as hurt. In today's video, we're going to explore the why behind this behavior. Why do people come back only to cause pain? Is it intentional, a lack of awareness, or something buried in their psychology? More importantly, how can you protect yourself from falling into the same cycle again? I want you to know that if you've gone through this, you're not alone. Many of us have stood in your shoes, feeling hopeful about someone's return, only to be left questioning if we made a mistake. But here's the good news. By understanding the motivations and patterns behind their actions, you can take control. You can shield yourself from unnecessary hurt while preserving your peace of mind. In this video, we'll break down 6 possible reasons why people hurt you after coming back. Each point is designed to give you clarity and empower you to respond differently moving forward. So, if you're ready to dig deep into the psychology of relationships and protect your emotional well-being, stay tuned. Let's start with the first reason. Number 1. Past experiences impacting future behavior. Trust is the cornerstone of any meaningful relationship. Without it, even the strongest connections can crumble under the weight of doubt. When trust is broken, whether through betrayal, dishonesty, or neglect, it leaves an emotional scar that's hard to heal. And when someone who hurt you in the past comes back, that scar can easily reopen. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever found yourself questioning someone's intentions after they've returned, even when they promised they'd changed? That hesitation, that voice in the back of your mind whispering, "What if they do it again?" That's the residue of broken trust. It's not paranoia, it's self-preservation. When someone betrays you, it shakes your sense of stability. Suddenly, the person you once relied on feels unpredictable, and that fear of uncertainty doesn't just go away because they've reappeared. In fact, their return can amplify those feelings. You might find yourself analyzing their words, questioning their actions, and bracing for the possibility of getting hurt again. But here's the thing. Trust isn't rebuilt with words. It's rebuilt with consistent, honest actions over time. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change. I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone. The harm is to persist in one's own self-deception and ignorance. This wisdom reminds us that change must be real and rooted in truth, not empty promises. If someone comes back into your life and hasn't genuinely acknowledged their past mistakes or shown growth, they're likely still stuck in a cycle of self-deception and dragging you along with them. This is where your self-awareness becomes crucial. You can't control whether someone has truly changed, but you can control how much access you give them to your heart. It's okay to take your time, observe their actions, and prioritize your emotional well-being. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, it means setting boundaries that protect you from further harm. At the same time, recognize how past experiences shape your present. While caution is natural, don't let the pain from one relationship bleed into every interaction. If someone has proven their sincerity and is making consistent efforts to earn back your trust, allow yourself the grace to let go of resentment. Holding on to old pain can prevent you from moving forward, even when the other person is genuinely trying. I want you to take a moment and reflect on this. Have you been holding on to broken trust that's weighing you down? If so, I encourage you to reclaim your power. Drop an affirmation in the comments, my truth. Your truth is your foundation. It's your guide to decide who deserves a place in your life and who doesn't. Remember, trust is earned, not demanded. It's okay to require proof of change, and it's okay to walk away if that proof doesn't come. Let their actions speak louder than their words, and let your boundaries remind them that you're not someone to be taken for granted. Your emotional health matters, and no one has the right to compromise it, not even someone you once cared deeply about. Number 2, emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation is one of the most painful ways someone can hurt you after coming back into your life. It's subtle, often disguised as love or care, but it's ultimately a strategy to control you and serve their needs. This type of behavior is not only damaging to your self-esteem, but can also make you question your reality and worth. Have you ever experienced someone returning with sweet words and heartfelt promises? Maybe they said, "I've missed you so much," or "I don't know what I was thinking when I let you go." At first, these words feel comforting. They play into the hope that they've changed, that this time will be different. But as time passes, their actions begin to tell a different story. Emotional manipulators have a way of creating a sense of obligation. They might remind you of the good times you shared, making you feel guilty for ever walking away. They'll twist conversations, turning their mistakes into something you're partially responsible for. Maybe they'll even cry or show vulnerability, pulling at your heartstrings just enough to keep you hooked. And here's where it gets tricky. Manipulation doesn't always look like anger or control. Sometimes it's disguised as flattery, affection, or even desperation. They make you feel like the only person who can save them, and that creates an unspoken pressure to stay, even when your instincts tell you to walk away. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This quote is a reminder to trust your judgment and your sense of right and wrong. Manipulative people rely on your hesitation to stand up for yourself, but staying grounded in your truth will protect you from their tactics. The emotional toll of manipulation can't be underestimated. It can leave you feeling drained, confused, and even questioning your own worth. That's why it's so important to set boundaries and recognize the signs early. If their words don't align with their actions, or if you constantly feel pressured or uneasy, trust your instincts. Remember, love doesn't require manipulation. Real love feels freeing, not suffocating. Real love builds you up, not tears you down. Don't let anyone play games with your emotions or make you feel like you owe them something. You are not their emotional crutch. I want you to drop an affirmation in the comments. I deserve love that uplifts me. Write it, say it out loud, and most importantly, believe it. You have the power to walk away from manipulation and protect your peace. Let your truth guide you, and never settle for less than the respect and kindness you deserve. Number 3. Unresolved past issues. Unresolved past issues have a way of lingering in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to resurface. When someone comes back into your life without addressing those issues, it's like trying to build a house on a cracked foundation. It's bound to crumble. These unresolved issues could stem from arguments left unsettled, misunderstandings swept under the rug, or emotional wounds that were never given the chance to heal. You might have been hurt by their words, actions, or even their silence. And while time can dull the pain, it doesn't erase it. Time alone doesn't heal. Reflection and accountability do. When someone returns without acknowledging the damage from the past, it can feel like they're dismissing your pain. Imagine sitting down to talk, hoping for closure, only to have them say, "Let's not dwell on the past," or "Can't we just move on?" While they may think they're taking the high road, what they're really doing is avoiding responsibility. Here's the truth. Unresolved issues don't disappear, they fester. They sit in the back of your mind, creating tension and mistrust. Every conversation feels like walking on eggshells, and every interaction carries the weight of things unsaid. It's a cycle that only leads to more hurt, frustration, and eventually resentment. As Maya Angelou said, history, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived again. These words remind us that we must confront the past to prevent it from repeating itself. Courage isn't about ignoring the pain, it's about facing it head-on, having those uncomfortable conversations and demanding accountability. But here's the hard part. Not everyone is willing to do that. Some people return because they miss the convenience or comfort you provided, not because they're ready to take responsibility for their actions. They might hope that enough time has passed for you to forget, or they might genuinely believe the past doesn't matter anymore. But you know better. To move forward, there must be open and honest communication. Both of you need to address what went wrong and how to prevent it from happening again. Without this, those unresolved issues will continue to cast a shadow over your relationship. You deserve to be with someone who values your feelings, acknowledges your pain, and takes real steps to heal what's been broken. Don't settle for a relationship where your emotions are ignored or invalidated. I want you to drop an affirmation in the comments. I choose to honor my feelings and my truth. This affirmation is your reminder that your emotions are valid and you have every right to seek clarity and closure. Don't let unresolved issues define your relationships or your worth. You're deserving of love that heals, not love that reopens old wounds. Number 4, fear of vulnerability, when walls become weapons. Fear of vulnerability is one of the most complex reasons someone might hurt you after coming back into your life. Vulnerability requires courage. It's about opening your heart and exposing your fears, flaws, and emotions to another person. For some, this level of openness feels terrifying. Instead of embracing it, they build walls so high that no one, not even someone they care about, can climb over them. When someone fears vulnerability, they often act in ways that seem contradictory. They return to your life, signaling they want to reconnect, yet their actions create distance. They might appear cold, dismissive, or even angry, not because they don't care, but because they fear the emotional risks of being close to someone. Vulnerability to them feels like handing over a weapon that could be used against them. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." For those who fear vulnerability, their distress isn't about you. It's about their perception of emotional closeness as a potential threat. They equate vulnerability with weakness or danger, forgetting that true strength lies in the ability to connect deeply. Have you ever had someone pull away just when you thought things were getting better? Perhaps they avoided meaningful conversations, brushed off your attempts to connect, or became defensive when emotions came into play. It's easy to take their behavior personally, but in many cases, their actions are not about you. They're grappling with their own fears, projecting their insecurities outward, and creating barriers to protect themselves. For these individuals, vulnerability feels like stepping into a storm without shelter. They worry that if they let someone see their true self, they'll be judged, rejected, or worse, hurt, so they hurt others first, often without even realizing it. Their emotional armor may shield them, but it also creates pain for those who genuinely want to get close. The challenge here is that you can't force someone to face their fear of vulnerability. That journey must be theirs to take. What you can do is recognize the signs and protect your own emotional well-being. If their fear leads to behaviors that consistently hurt you, you have every right to set boundaries and prioritize your peace. Let me remind you of this. Their fear is not your responsibility. It's natural to want to help or fix things, but if their actions continually leave you feeling hurt or unvalued, you need to ask yourself if staying is worth sacrificing your own emotional health. I want you to drop an affirmation in the comments. I deserve relationships that feel safe and nurturing. Repeat this to yourself whenever you feel conflicted about someone who struggles with vulnerability. Your worth is not tied to their fears. You deserve connections that allow you to grow, not ones that leave you doubting your value. Number 5, lack of accountability. One of the most frustrating reasons someone might hurt you after coming back is their refusal to take accountability for their past actions. Accountability requires maturity, self-awareness, and courage, qualities not everyone possesses. Without these, the cycle of hurt repeats itself, leaving you feeling like your emotions and experiences are being dismissed. Think about this. Have you ever had someone return to your life and act as though nothing ever happened? They might brush off the pain they caused you, avoiding any meaningful conversation about the past. Instead of apologizing or owning up to their mistakes, they might even shift the blame onto you, claiming, "You're too sensitive," or "You misunderstood me." This lack of accountability invalidates your feelings, making it seem as though your hurt was insignificant or unwarranted. Marcus Aurelius once wisely noted, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Taking accountability is an essential part of being a good person. It's about acknowledging where you went wrong, making amends, and committing to doing better in the future. Unfortunately, some people are too consumed by their pride or insecurities to admit their faults. When someone avoids accountability, they might expect forgiveness without any real change. They assume their return is enough to erase the pain they caused, without putting in the effort to rebuild trust or show genuine remorse. This can leave you feeling disrespected and stuck in an emotional loop. You want to believe in their intentions, but their unwillingness to take responsibility only adds to your pain. What's even more troubling is how this lack of accountability can manifest in subtle ways. They might dismiss your attempts to discuss the past by saying things like, "Why are you bringing this up again? Can't we just move on?" Statements like these are designed to deflect responsibility and shut down important conversations. But moving on isn't about sweeping things under the rug. It's about addressing the issues and creating a foundation for genuine change. If someone refuses to own up to their actions, you have every right to protect yourself. Accountability is the foundation of trust, and without it, a relationship, whether romantic, platonic, or familial, will remain unsteady. Forgiving someone who doesn't take responsibility often leads to repeated hurt because they haven't learned or grown from their mistakes. Here's a truth you need to remember. You are not responsible for someone else's growth. While it's natural to hope they'll change, their journey toward accountability must be their own. Your role is to safeguard your peace and decide whether their lack of accountability is something you're willing to tolerate. I want you to drop an affirmation in the comments. I honor my feelings and deserve accountability in all my relationships. Let this be your reminder that your emotions matter, your experiences are valid, and you have every right to expect sincerity from the people in your life. Accountability isn't just about saying sorry, it's about proving through actions that the apology means something. Don't settle for less. Number 6. Turning pain into power. Let's face it, moving on is one of the hardest things you'll ever do, especially when someone you trusted hurts you again. It's not just about closing a chapter, it's about finding meaning in the pain and using it to grow. Moving on doesn't mean pretending it didn't happen or erasing the memories. It means carrying the lessons with you while leaving the hurt behind. You might feel like you're stuck, reliving the betrayal over and over, wondering what you could have done differently. But here's the truth. Their actions are not a reflection of your worth. What matters now is how you rise from it. As Maya Angelou beautifully said, you may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Moving on starts with acceptance. Accept that what happened cannot be undone. Accept that you cannot force someone to change or treat you better. This acceptance isn't about weakness. It's about reclaiming your power. It allows you to stop fighting the past and start focusing on your future. One of the most valuable lessons in moving on is learning to set boundaries. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are bridges to healthier connections. When someone has hurt you, boundaries are your way of saying, I value myself enough to protect my peace. The right people will respect those boundaries, while the wrong ones will try to test them. And when they do, you'll be ready. Another lesson is understanding that not everyone deserves a second chance. Some people return to your life not because they've changed, but because they haven't found anyone else to tolerate their behavior. Recognizing this isn't about being bitter. It's about being realistic. When you learn to discern genuine intentions from empty gestures, you protect yourself from unnecessary heartache. Healing is a process, not a destination. It's okay to have days when you feel strong and days when you feel like the pain is fresh again. Be gentle with yourself. Growth isn't linear, but every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Each time you choose yourself over the hurt, you're building a future rooted in strength and self-respect. Think about it. If someone has hurt you repeatedly, do you want to keep giving them the power to dictate your happiness? Or do you want to reclaim that power and build a life that reflects your true worth? Moving on isn't just about leaving them behind. It's about moving toward a version of yourself that is wiser, stronger, and more compassionate. I want you to drop an affirmation in the comments. I choose growth over pain, and I honor my journey. This affirmation is your promise to yourself that you will no longer let past hurts define your future. Every experience, good or bad, has the potential to teach you something valuable. Moving on is your opportunity to take those lessons and turn them into something beautiful, a life that reflects your courage, resilience, and strength. You deserve nothing less. That's all for today's video, everyone. I hope you found this topic insightful and that it helps you better understand why some people may hurt you after coming back into your life. Remember, protecting your emotional health is key, and learning from past experiences will help you grow stronger. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Also, share your experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear how you've dealt with similar situations. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.